Today we'll get started in about 5 more minutes. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order and get her started. Again, appreciate everybody being here. It's been a beautiful day in Jonesborough. We've got kind of a light agenda here, so it shouldn't take us too long. So looking forward to whipping through it here. First item on the agenda is our opening prayer from Vice Mayor Dixon.
Let us all pray. Dear God, we thank you for this day that you've allowed us to see, and we want to, God, align with what you have said, that in all things we should give thanks, for it is the will of God concerning us. And so we want to thank you for this day that you have made. We want to rejoice, and we want to be glad in it. And so, God, we thank you for the community that you've blessed us with. We thank you for these wonderful people that make up our community. We thank you for the blessings that you have bestowed. And God, we want to always be empathetic and always be mindful to those that are struggling, those that are hurting. God, even in our local community, we have seen death. We've seen loved ones that are grieving. We've seen neighbors that are dealing with all manner of issues. And we want to be empathetic to their needs. We want to help as they need help. We want to, again, be a resource to them in their time of stress and despair. And so, God, we ask that you guide this board, that you continue to bless each member of this board in our deliberations this evening. We ask that you watch over town staff and that you guide them in their work as they make our town stronger and better and more efficient. God, we ask all these things, Lord, in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you, Adam. Ruth, who do you have to lead the pledge tonight?
Alderman Adam Dixon.
Excellent.
It's her fault. Let us recite the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Ruth. All right, Madam Recorder, roll call, please.
Mayor Best.
Here.
Alderman Causey.
Here.
Alderman Connermine.
Here.
Alderman Dixon.
Here.
Alderman Moore.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're all present. It's great to see everyone here. I guess the first item on our agenda is our consent agenda. Alderman, is anything on there you wish to pull and discuss? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
I will make that motion.
Motion to approve from Alderman Wolf.
Second.
A second from Alderman Countermine. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Wolf.
Yes.
Alderman Connermine.
Aye.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Just something I want to talk about that's in that consent agenda there is in our committee reports. I want to say kind of thank you to our planning commission. You know, there's an important vote for those guys and gals on Tuesday. You know, they're looking at rezoning a place for a meat packing plant out in the county, and it's in our planning territory. It's not in our city limits, but in our planning territory. And they've been getting a lot of calls from the residents and stuff down there in that area, you know, who's against it. So I think our planning commission will make the right decision there. But appreciate you know, they're volunteering to take that seat, because it's times like this when you need good people, and we have great ones on there.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes.
just to add, they were scheduled to meet a week from Tuesday, the 19th, but I did talk to county zoning office that has it on file with them, since it is in our planning region, but it's the county commission that would ultimately hear it. So it's been rescheduled to August meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, good thing about that, no matter what our planning commission decides, whether it's a yay or nay, it still goes to the county commission's got the, I guess, final say on that. But again, appreciate those volunteers. Next thing I'd like to talk about is really our staff, our marketing and tourism department. You know, Nora and Mitchell sitting right there, and Melissa. You know, they kind of found themselves thrown in with Jonesborough dates to put that on, because with some illnesses and things like that. And I tell you what, they did an outstanding job. So Mitchell, and just make sure you share our thanks to everybody that helped. But it was a great Jonesborough days. Great Jonesborough days. You know, we started off with a wonderful parade, and I know when the parade ended, you kind of looked, and all of a sudden, all the people who was watching got into the street, and it was like shoulder to shoulder all the way down Main Street. I've never seen that many people down there, I don't believe it. So it was a great turnout, And then, I heard a lot of great positive comments about the whole weekend. And for the first time, I sat down and listened to one of the concerts. They had the Queen Legacy Band there, and took my 2 younger daughters there, and they had no clue who Queen was, and I didn't know a whole lot, So they started playing those songs. I'm going, hey, I remember that song. I didn't know Queen sung that. But it was really crowded that night too. Queen Legacy, really, the lead singer there put on a great show. He was dripping in sweat when he was done. So we appreciate them coming. But my daughters, they sat there like this for the first half of it, didn't know what was kind of going on, and by the end of it, they're sitting there going. Yes. So it's I appreciate Melissa and all of our tourism marketing team for putting that together for us. But great crowds, and some good comments about our fireworks as well. I do think next year we could probably extend that out a little bit and make a little bit more of a pop. But that's really about it. But appreciate the work there on Jonesborough days, and we've had a lot of rain on Fridays and Sundays, and it's messed up our music on the square and our bruising tunes. But I know Friday, Bill and Bells was here, and they got a great jingle they wrote for Jonesborough days, or for Jonesborough, and they had to suddenly move from Main Street into the visitor center, and everybody pitched in, got them moved down there, and still had a good crowd down there. So I appreciate the effort to still make that happen. One other thing that was in there is our building inspector report talking about building permits. And we are just smoking here in Jonesborough, building permits. For the month of June, 55 permits versus only 22 the year before. Biggest thing is for the year so far, we've got $25 million in building permits. And that's on last year. For the whole year, we only had 22 million. So we're already surpassing last year in 6 months. So a lot of action here, which means a lot of important votes for these aldermen. Because with all that comes a lot of decisions to make on our infrastructure, our streets, and things like that. So appreciate these aldermen and what they do to make great decisions. And I know Kelly and Virginia were talking about our Weigel's grand opening up there, and we had an amazing turnout for that. We was all up there, but a lot of the county officials came, and Mr. Weigel was up there himself, and he was just bragging on how many people showed up. He was saying how Chattanooga didn't show up like that, so he was bragging on us and bragging on that location start. But that was a good morning there. That's really it from my comments, other than we got Employee of the Month, and got a little bit of a curveball thrown there, I think. But for Employee of the Month, I need to see Donna Freeman down front.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. How did you let that slip by, Donna?
I went on vacation.
Oh.
Bad things happen when you go on vacation.
That was sneaky.
Yeah.
Let you hold that. You see all the bragging. I think everybody in town hall was bragging under there.
Oh, okay.
I would like to nominate Donna Freeman for the distinction of Employee of the Month for July 2022. Donna is the Executive Assistant for Town Hall, but does the job of many titles. Donna, on many occasions, has gone above and beyond for not only the general department, but the town. On a routine basis, Donna handles information for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, Planning Commission, health assessments, helping with the budget, town event flyers, JRT playbills, and much, much more. No matter what Donna is facing, she is sure to finish it in a timely manner and with excellent quality. When anyone has a question, their first stop is almost always her. On top of her routine roles, she has added trainer, mentor, friend, and the affectionate name of Nana, as Glenn referred to her, when trouble comes and you need some wise advice. She has been a wonderful mentor and someone I greatly look up to. When things become stressful, she makes them seem simple. She is who you want on your team. Speaking of team, Town Hall is what I would like to think as a family unit. We all work hard together, look out for one another, and share a lot of laughter with one another. Donna is a very large part of that family unit and what makes it work. She is the glue, if you will. She holds us all together and helps us with many issues we face, and is there, that might be there when we need her the most as well. And when we just need a smile, Donna's there. When things get hard, you will never receive a complaint from Donna, but you will receive an impeccable job well done. For those reasons and many more, I feel Donna deserves the honor of receiving Employee of the Month 2022. That was from Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. That's your middle name?
Donna, would you like to share anything with us?
I'm very honored and very surprised, so I appreciate it very much.
Surprise. How long have you been with the town of Jonesborough now?
42 years.
42.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I was 6 when I started.
That was tough. Sarah had it all together. I think I almost messed up 3 or 4 times.
Hey, Sarah,
It was
that was
tough.
very well written.
Yeah, it was.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, if anybody knows of any more 6-year-olds, we might work them in here if they're going to turn out like that. Yeah? All right. All right, next item on our agenda is the citizens' comments. If there's anyone here that's a resident of Jonesborough or one of our water customers and wish to speak, please come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Are you a citizen speaking?
No, I gotta work the clock.
I know I was jumping ahead of you. You ready? I'm Nancy Cavanaugh. I live at 112 East College Street here in Jonesborough. I'm here tonight to talk about a project that was started quite a few years ago, and we, as I know, do not have a plan to continue it. It is the Ardenna Woods Arboretum and the Butterfly Garden at the Wastewater treatment area. The woman who started it was Frances Lamberts and worked tirelessly for many, many years to establish the Arboretum. It is due for a reappraisal and recertification as a certified arboretum within the next months. So there's an issue there of making sure that the material that's there, the plant material, the trees, the shrubs, beat those qualifications and certifications. On the other side of the drive is the butterfly garden, and unfortunately there are not people to attend to that and care for the plants that are there. They're all native plants of Tennessee and of the United States, and we don't have a plan. It's an example of a great idea that gets started without considering what happens next. And additionally, I see that with the fabulous plans that are on paper for the school area, with the trees, with the shrubs, with the plants. And it's amazing that we may have that. But my concern is, as it is for the area by the wastewater treatment plant, that we don't have enough staff or volunteers or community people to work in those areas to maintain it. So I bring it to you as a concern of mine and what we need in this town, with 52 building permits and people looking at the town and say, well, what's this? Why not? What's happening here? So I ask you to put that on the agenda somewhere and work it into plans, because it is an important area to honor our community and the work that one woman has done. She would not come tonight. She has left that project, but we need to continue caring for that area that was developed. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. That is something for our board and staff to think about. Is we have a lot of volunteers out there that do great work for our town. Then what happens when that volunteer just needs to move on? What do we do next? So,
For the record, Mayor, the school project is that not something that we're going to be maintaining the mowing on as part of our contract with the county?
yeah, that's
So that question may actually have already been answered.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we're obligated for that one. And
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get any volunteers to help us mow that big area out there, but yeah.
Pretty big.
And
Yep.
he says we talk about our employees and pay, but we talked about for a long time, we talked about the work retention,
Mhm.
probably in that same manner. Maintenance
Yeah.
is, I mean, on the landscaping end, is probably as high on that beautification.
Yeah, we've discussed the landscaping really just throughout town, how do we maintain that and keep it at the level we want it, and that's something that needs to be added to that equation. What do we do? Because there's been a lot of, sweat and tears went into that down there, and we probably need to make sure we got a plan to maintain it. Sounds like we need to do it pretty quick. All right, anyone else? All right, well, thank you all. Next item on the agenda is our Alderman communications. Alderman, anything you wish to share?
Just to reiterate what you said, Jonesborough days was, in spite of the scattered showers, it was
Phenomenal.
well done.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people had a good time, I think.
Well, we appreciate, Terry was part of the kickoff dinner down there, and they always do a great job playing the music. I tell you, there's a good turnout for that too, and they enjoyed the music and the food. So.
Play recently at the McKinney Center called We Did It Together.
Mm-hmm.
Very good play. A lot of folks turned out for the play, and just another sign of the community that we yearn to see here in town. So it was just really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good activity.
And wonderful stories behind it that they told. That's
Yes, sir.
really good. Thank you, Adam. Kelly?
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm on a panel show. It's my Thank you, moderator.
You could ask the question.
A lot of great things going on, and I'm still kind of getting up to speed on everything y'all been working on for the last little while. I can just say that I continue to be impressed with the cohesiveness of this board, of the good intentions of everybody serving, and I think that everybody here tonight already knows this. That's why you're here as part of the community that is Jonesborough, but we've got a lot to be proud of in terms of how we treat each other and what the motives are for people to be involved in public service. It is the purest example that I can think of good intentions and good people coming together to do good things for their community. So I'm just very impressed. I just want to say, hey, y'all doing good.
All right, well, you're part of it.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah.
So, one other thing, Craig, in your report, and this is not a negative comment, do not construe it as such. We had reference to the continuing saga of the sidewalk up East Main Street.
Yes.
Have, in your mind, has the statistical likelihood of this project continuing to move in the current arrangement diminished, or are we just trying to work through some details to get the kinks out and get it kicked off with the contractor you've got lined up there?
Well, if you go back, I had prepared a memo for Mr. Rosenoff. If you go back and look at our bid, we only had one bidder that bid both the prep work and the concrete work. And so the board approved the bid subject to the town administrator being able to come to terms with the contractor. We've had like 3 meetings with him now, and it seems like we just keep getting further apart. So my recommendation is to just simply contact the contractor and tell him this is the line in the sand.
Yep.
Either you can do it for this or you can't.
Yep.
And then we go back and do as quick a turnaround as we can to rebid, and then maybe bid someone to do the prep work and someone to do the concrete work. That's the problem we had with the first bid. We had a bid to do the prep work, but then we didn't have a secondary bid to pour the concrete after the prep work was done.
So it's been a little while since all that transpired.
March or April.
Yeah.
I think April.
Yeah.
April maybe was
Yeah.
when the board.
And circumstances with workloads and job obligations and all that's going to change just from the normal flow of things.
Yeah.
I just wanted to encourage us to not let this thing and I know you're not,
No.
but not let this thing continue to drag. We need to get aggressive. If he's, whoever it is, the guy, I think I met him once in here, but if he's not gonna be able to get on it and perform, we may need to rebid that thing just to move it forward. It's been, I think there's been ample time at this point for it to, have some action take place. And I know you all will capably and competently handle that. But just from my position in the peanut gallery, we don't need to let any dust gather on this little deal anymore.
That's the same contract that's working at Lincoln Park, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, our goal is obviously to get to Forest. We believe probably pivoting and finding a prepper and a concrete company, we'd come in closer to budget and get the project done. And at the same time, I guess we're trying to finalize the easements that we'll need along East Main as well. So
I think you got your easements, didn't you? No? Don't have them all?
No.
Well, I stand corrected. Okay.
And that'll be important that all the,
Oh, yeah.
everybody up and down through there signs off on there.
Okay. How many do we lack?
I think there are roughly a dozen.
Lacking or total?
I'm not aware of any easements being signed yet.
Okay.
We are working on easements, about a dozen, and I'm not aware of any others.
Okay. Well, we got a lot going on. Know that, but this is late. I think it's real important to get the groundwork laid for this little project to keep rolling. So,
I agree. Appreciate it, Kelly.
Thank you.
Virginia, anything to share? Okay. All right. Town attorney comments. Jim, you got anything you want to share?
Two things I was going to mention. One is just your special events. It's amazing. I do get roughly about 60 to 100 emails a day that are not spam. So I have a staff person that actually sorts those and works through them. And they made a comment about how many of them are related to special events in Jonesborough. So
Yeah.
the legal part of that. So I thought that was impressive that you all got that much going on. So, and then the other thing, I'll put my county hat on just a moment and remind you it's not just the mowing. The more important part to the county is probably the maintenance of the landscaping, the bigger part,
Okay.
perhaps. So,
okay.
that's a big,
Fair enough.
well, the point being that it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work.
Yep.
Well, we are getting reimbursed for that, so it's,
Yep.
we're getting
Yes,
paid
sir.
to do that work at the school, so it's fine. All right. Anything else, Jim?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Now we move into our old business. First item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning approval of a special event application for the Washington County, Tennessee Heritage Fair. And it appears everything's in order, I think there, right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion to approve from Alderman Wolf. I got a second from Alderman Countermine. Any discussion? All right. Call for the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Wolf,
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Now Chad's got him an event now. All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning the Jackson Theater Project architect fees. And you see what the recommendation in there, and a good memo from Jim about the agreement we've worked out. Anybody got any questions or discussion about that? If not, I'll take a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the $70,000 to be taken out of Jackson Theater project funds.
Okay, got a motion to approve from Alderman Causey.
I'll second.
Got a second from Alderman Dixon. All right, any discussion? All right, I appreciate Jim's work on that. Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Wolf.
Aye.
Very good, motion carried. Now we'll move into our new business. First item on the agenda there is discussion and possible action concerning approval of predetermined routes for 5K races and 1 mile run walk special events. And I guess my only question there, if Matt, if you might be, I think you did a great job on that. Did you get any feedback from any of the running clubs or any of the organizers about those routes?
Not really, they've not been certified courses, but they're a modification for the most part of races that have.
Run before?
Already been. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the main goal was to try to migrate some of those races away from those busy intersections that
Yep.
we have. So it's,
Are-
they're kind of modified to still have, or allow for the appeal down
Are you comfortable with these new routes?
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I think that's the, there may be better options there, but I think that, at a quick glance, after talking to other parties, it's trying to accommodate what they're wanting to do, but with a spin of safety being the main motivator
Yep.
of having those routes. So I think that it cuts down on that, but it also cuts down on the number of events that we have that come in with their own
Predetermined
own idea
route,
or
yeah.
route that they want to run. It's much easier for us and for the rest of town staff to be able to say, we've already planned these 6 routes out, so we know what we're gonna have manpower. So it's much easier for us from the planning aspect of it too, to be able to take,
Makes
to
sense.
have those specific route plans.
That should be, better for them as well. And I guess we can always tweak them in the future, 1 or 2 if we have to. But Alderman, any comments about that?
Chief, I was curious, on a couple of these routes, at least I'm assuming, you're gonna have to, or you're gonna be in the county? Is that,
No,
No.
I'll step up where you're.
thank you, sir.
The routes, they're all incorporated in town, but
Okay.
there's the combination of those. Some of those leave downtown, utilize our walking trail system, to get them out to wetlands,
Yep.
back to downtown, all the way to wetlands to end there, to start at wetlands to come into town. And specifically the 1 mile, we always close downtown from Fox to Second for those downtown events. It keeps it in that general area, so that run will be able to go up through College, some of those back streets that have minimal traffic on them, but all of those routes are still inside the city limits.
Okay. At Route 4 is at State Route 34, but it's there at the town
State
line.
road, it comes at city limits, that's the only one that really, and that's one that's typically used for the Crockett run. But we've got a plan in place that's tried and true for the most part, that gives us the ability to route traffic to Hall Road, to Ridgecrest, to Depot Street, so we still have a way to move traffic around those runners so that we don't have the interaction. That's really the only course that you've been provided that allows, for us to start the county, come into the city, and to still be able to maneuver traffic around where it's safe for everyone.
And Chief, are you comfortable with this, I don't wanna jump too far ahead, but we're gonna look at a half marathon here in a few seconds. Will that be the last event of that nature, and then we'll start using these predetermined routes for the future?
Well, that route is one it's much bigger.
13 miles,
if
yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
So it's a half marathon. So with that particular event itself, we're utilizing the county because a good portion of that race is actually out in the county. So it's one of those things that going forward, we've kind of tentatively approved for the safety aspect between us and the sheriff's office for that particular route. But it's one of those things, as the town grows, we're obviously going to have to look maybe next year at a different route that doesn't have as much interaction with vehicular traffic and the pedestrians or runners.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else? If not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve from Alderman Wolf.
Second.
Got a second from Alderman Causey. All right, any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Wolf,
Yes.
Alderman Causey,
Aye.
Alderman Countermine,
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. And as Adam mentioned there, that one race is going to be over 13 miles, and so it'd be hard to get that to where we just run that in our city limits. If not, we'll be doing 4 loops around town. All right, so now we're moving to 7B, discussion and possible action concerning the approval of special event applications. First one on the agenda there is the 2022 Storytelling Festival.
Real glad to see that.
Yeah, Virginia.
I have
Absolutely.
one thing on this one is, of course, I live on College Street. They block it off there at Second. And there's a lot of times that we can't get in because the person sitting there will argue that we can't come in. If they could give us permits of people that live down through there, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least be courteous enough to say, oh, you wanna go home? You know? But I have had them to block it, and of course I get a little antsy and say, I'm going home. You can either move it or else, but I'm really nice about it, really. But if they could do something, even if they just do a little permit or something that we could put in our windshield, or
Yeah,
if
we
they
got-
could get names, you know, of the property owners to where we could get in and out.
Yeah.
Can we suggest that as part of this approval, please?
Yes, we can,
Yeah,
It's just a
we'll
gentle-
add that to
gentle
the,
loving
I'll personally
suggestion.
drive Virginia home.
Okay.
We'll leave my car.
we've got a motion to approve with the addition of some type of form of identification for our homeowners in that area.
Yep.
Move to approve.
All right, we got a second from Alderman Dixon. I think that's right.
Where'd the first come from?
Didn't Virginia make a motion to approve it?
Well, no, but
Okay, well, I got a motion to approve from Alderman Dixon then. All
I
right.
just wanted to keep up. I'm just trying to keep up.
I'll second it.
All right, we got a second from Alderman Countermine. All right, any other discussion? Call for the vote.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Wolf.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Virginia.
You're welcome.
Next item there is that Constitution Week bell ringing. Seems pretty cut and dry there. It's always great to have them there putting on that event. It's a beautiful venue down there with the little school.
Motion for approval.
Motion to approve from Alderman Wolf.
Second.
Second from Alderman Causey. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Wolf.
Uh-huh,
Alderman
yes.
Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Now we'll move into the last one there, the Haunted Half Marathon event we talked a little bit about, but that's always a great event, well attended. We usually have a lot of people downtown for that too, and it's around Halloween, so it's a neat little thing. People dressing up and
It's great.
running. It is.
They love it.
Yep. So Alderman, you see the two recommendations there. Any discussion, or I can take a motion?
Move to approve, Mayor.
Motion to approve from Alderman Dixon.
I'll second.
Got a second from Alderman Wolf. Any discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Wolf.
Aye.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Yeah, very good.
Good calls, too.
There it is. And we got, a little donation as part of that to our Paws and Blues and our Shop with the Cops. Couple of $1,000 there, so I appreciate the organizers of that. But three great events for Jonesborough. Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning approval of an agreement with GRW Engineers for water and sewer projects.
I'd like to address this one, Mayor, for a
Yes, sir.
second.
All right?
This is a great example of your town being proactive. A Station has been online. It's our oldest pump station in the town for sewer. Been online a long time, longer than some people here might have been alive.
Longer than a sidewalk project.
Longer than a sidewalk project. That's right. No, this is a very big deal and a long time coming. When North Jonesborough subdivision was put on sewer in the 1980s, for cost reasons, a full gravity system was not constructed. It's a smaller diameter system that still utilizes a lot of septic tanks and some 4-inch lines in places. And this will enable a line from the school to proceed down to the sewer plant down here at 5 Points, all through a gravity system. And that is a critical thing. You know, this school is a new big deal for us. And you know, if you've got your oldest pump station with a history of some issues over time, knock on wood, it's been doing well in the last several years, but you don't want to have a failure like that in route with flows from your new school. The other thing, and this goes to Operations Manager Ford's credit, you know, this northern loop on the water line is something that kind of represents an acknowledgement of where a lot of the growth is going on in Jonesborough. A lot of what you're seeing going on in Jonesborough, there's a lot on the west end, I guess, for lack of a better term, but there's a lot on the north end as well, in the Boones Creek and around the school, that whole area. So this project is very important to make sure, like the water line to Lowe's was when it was built several years ago, that there's enough water to support current and coming development and commercial enterprise. And so this is an example of your town being very proactive and going ahead, and there's not a earth-shattering critical need today, but there's planning that's been done, and there's foresight involved, and we're gonna have, hopefully, the infrastructure in place as the need develops and not let it get in a situation where you're desperately trying to catch up. So this is a very big deal, and I just wanted to say that.
Well said there, Kelly. Alderman, anything else? It looks like a lot of this will be, this $206,000 we'll be applying for ARPA funding to help in that area, so that's always great as well.
And the electronic meters, by the way, may I interrupt, Mayor? I'm
Yes.
sorry. We're, you know, in the acknowledgement of technology's constant march, you're looking at 13,000 electronic read water meters going into our system. It is hard to find folks willing to do a lot of the jobs that have been done historically through just brute manpower. One of them is represented by this guy back here on the back row and his lovely ensemble there with his big grin, and that's Mr. Artie White. He is the leader of our meter brigade and has done a wonderful job for a long time. Long time. But
He started at 6 as well, I
he
think.
did. Actually, he may have started at 5. But you know, that, my friends, is a dying breed. Not you in particular, Artie, but just in general. It's technology is quickly replacing the job of meter reader. And this will bring us into the 21st century, and we're counting on Artie and his crew to help lead this transformation. So thank you for that, Artie. Thank you for recognizing the importance of it and leading that effort. Looking forward to it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you think 13,000 meters, and you think, what do you got, 5 or so readers out there? I think, how can they get that many read? Because you got to get out of your truck and walk to the meter, get in and look at it, and come back.
Yep.
You're thinking, my goodness, that is very labor intensive, and getting in and out of your car that many times a day is not easy. It'll wear on you. So, yeah, moving to this is going to make us much more efficient. It kind of sets us up to do greater things, 4 or 5 years from now. So it's this is a.
It's also a great way to trace water loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got real-time water loss numbers. That's huge
Yeah.
when you're in the water system.
So we've got major investments in we got a great water system, produces great revenue and great service, but it's aged, and we've got Lynn and Am's putting together some plans to really improve our treatment plant and things like that. So it's this is kind of the first phase of it, really.
We should give credit to Mr. Rosenoff and Mr. Ford for
Yep.
putting all this plan together.
Yep.
Because without the leaders, we wouldn't have them.
I agree.
Absolutely. All right. Any other discussion?
Mr. Rose.
If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion to approve from Alderman Causey.
Second.
Got a second from Alderman Countermine. Sitting down there quiet, but he was in favor. All right, any other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Causey,
Aye.
Alderman Countermine,
Aye.
Alderman Dixon,
Aye.
Alderman Wolf.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. Appreciate that, Alderman. Next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning approval of the assignment of the 2022 season mowing contract to TrueScapes LLC. And I think what we're doing is kind of the same thing I think Johnson City had to go through up here recently with changing this. Alderman, any comments about that? If not, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Motion to approve from Alderman Causey.
Second?
Second from Alderman Wolf. And I'll just kind of add that, if anything, I think we'll get the next mowing season, kind of think about how we did that, because we put up kind of all our eggs in one basket, and it might be that we keep it down to just 2 or 3 options, and that cuts down the calls to Matt and the team, but maybe 2 gives you that backup if we need. Any other discussion? Call for the vote, Ms. Porter.
Alderman Causey.
Aye.
Alderman Wolf.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning concerning to enter into an agreement on access road with the McCoy family properties. And that's a little bit of a cost sharing here to kind of build a little bit of an access road over there near Lowe's and our medicine shop and all that. It's kind of been part of the plan over there forever,
So it's
so.
been the formula we've followed so far.
Yep, and,
And it's worked great.
Yep.
There and across from, behind Truck Toys as well.
yeah, yep, so,
Worked great.
it's great. We got a cost come in there of 25,000 and we'll pay part and developers pay part. You can't,
Yep.
that's a win. Any comments, Alderman? If not, I'll take a motion.
Is this road going from Chuck Alley's to Lowe's?
No, can't. It's just going over behind to stopping at the car wash right there.
Long term, I think that's part of the plan is
So we're
connected
going
there.
dead end there.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know, gradually,
but-
hopefully move into the, 'cause I think when that original Lowe's plan went up, this was kind of part of it.
There is a significant grade difference between the Lowe's
Yeah.
road
Yeah.
and this. It's probably never gonna be bridged
Yeah.
unless you're inventing a new way of transportation. I would say that this will be something that will provide greater access. It's, Mr. Efling was talking about doing a little multifamily.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right behind the car wash, if they ever wanted to do something too, it's kind of, that's gonna be where it stops, pretty much. Cause you'd be like this, straight up, trying to get to Lowe's.
All right.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve, Mayor.
Motion to approve from Alderman Dixon,
I'll second.
second from Alderman Wolf. Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Dixon,
Aye.
Alderman Wolf,
Aye.
Alderman Causey,
Aye.
Alderman Countermeyer.
All right, motion carried. And last item on our agenda and is discussion and possible action concerning temporary appointment of a town recorder and a resolution attached. Any discussion? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
Well, now, wait a minute.
All right.
So we're talking about the resolution at this point. We also need to talk about compensation as part of this resolution.
I think that's in the
Is it
resolution.
in?
It's in there. Yes,
Last
sir.
draft?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I did?
No, you didn't.
You didn't have
Oh,
your
I
glasses on.
did?
Yes, sir.
Well, where is it?
Section 2.
There it is. All right, never mind. Make the motion of approval.
All right, we got a
I
motion-
missed that.
motion to approve from Alderman Wolf,
Second.
second from Alderman Causey. Any
Whoops.
discussion? All right, call for the vote, please.
Alderman Wolf,
Aye.
Alderman Causey,
Aye.
Alderman Countermeyer,
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
All right, motion carried, and that's a wrap. Thank you all.
Thank you.